Easter eggs. Blink and you miss it moments and hidden details put into all different types of things for attentive viewers and consumers, present in everything from film and TV to even Lego sets. A genre as dense as hip-hop, where its central artists often stuff their lines with numerous meanings and references for listeners to break down and decipher, is of course ripe with countless Easter eggs. However, I never see them being spoken about that much, so that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. And I'm not just talking about the hidden meanings within the lines of songs or what the songs are actually conveying. We're not really going to be breaking down bars here today. This is more in regards to hidden references and details found within songs, albums, covers, titles, and more. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. But before we start, just gotta make this clear. We're not doing any music videos or performances because their topic's big enough for their own videos. But anyway, let's get right into this. So I'm sure everybody's familiar with track 10 on Tyler albums being these multi-part songs. However, this tradition stopped at Chromacopia, where Tyler ironically says the line, "Give a fuck about traditions, I've been pressing the dead." Lil Wayne's Lighter Flicker, I'm sure everyone's heard it popping up whenever Wayne's about to start his verses. But did you know that every single one is unique? I'll let Wayne explain why.
It's literally, it's on God. I would not lie to you, bro. It's not a trademark. It's not a... Because if it was, we'd have it synced up already, and I wouldn't even have to do it. You know what I mean? So if you are listening to it, you can listen to every single one is a different. And the answer is simple and plain. If you're a Wayne fan, you already got to know that I'm about to smoke during the verse. I'm lighting up for the verse.
Eminem also has a couple of song tropes. The first one being, "I'm just playing, ladies," which first started on Kill You, then it was seen on White America, So Much Better, Kick Off, which was a freestyle M did in 2018, Kill Shot, Realist, and most recently on Habits. He also has another song trope, which is the line, "A lot of people ask me," and that's been on Still Don't Give a Fuck, Criminal, Underground, and most recently on Temporary. And while we're on the topic of Eminem, the line on Remember Me where he says, "I'm trying to clean up my fucking image, so I promised the fucking critics I wouldn't say fucking for 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Slim Shady, you're on." He actually waits 6 minutes before he says fucking again. So he says this line with 50 seconds left of Remember Me, and the following track is I'm Back, which goes for exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds. That is 6 minutes. He doesn't say fucking again until the track Marshall Mathers, waiting the 6 minutes. A lot of hip hop artists have recurring characters and skits on their albums, and M arguably has the most iconic one, with Ken Kniff from Connecticut. Oh, fuck yeah. Now this started on the Slim Shady LP, where M didn't play the character, but actually took over the mantle for him for every following album from the Slim Shady LP. And Ken Kniff has been on every single Eminem album except for Infinite, Recovery, Revival, Kamikaze, and Music to Be Murdered By. He also makes an appearance on the track Stir Crazy. J. Cole has Lil Cole, which he first debuted in a video in 2008, where he was just fucking around with auto-tune and debuted the character, but you can hear Lil Cole on songs like Dollar in a Dream 2, Forbidden Fruit, and he most recently popped up in one of the Might Delete Later installments. Jay-Z has Pain in the Ass, a Pacino gangster imitation reflecting the themes and similarities between Hove and these fictional characters. The character was present from Reasonable Doubt all the way to the final installment of the In My Lifetime series. However, Benny the Butcher brought the character back, and that can be heard in Burden of Proof. Kendrick Lamar also has a character he raps about called Little Johnny, who we first spoke about in a song called Little Johnny from 2011. The character Little Johnny actually represents injustice and people from the hood trying to make it big. The fate of Little Johnny continuing on from that song was actually revealed on Kid Cudi's Solo Dolo Part 2, which Kendrick is featured on, but Kendrick has also referenced Johnny on Ronald Reagan Era in Section 80, XXX on Damn, and his feature on The City by The Game. Speaking of Kendrick, have you ever noticed that he references cars on all of his albums? And going from Good Kid Mad City all the way to GNX, the car references actually tie into what the album is about. Good Kid Mad City, he's borrowing his mum's van. He's a teenager, he doesn't have his own car, shows the state of life that Kendrick's in at that point. The mention of a car on To Pimp a Butterfly is representative of reparations and the unfulfilled promises and allure of fame. Out of all his albums, Damn has the most car references, and this ties into the album's themes of wickedness and weakness. The name brand cars are basically representative of wickedness, but with the line on Fear where Kendrick says 30 shows a month and I still won't buy me no Lexus is representative of weakness because he's not giving into the materialistic temptation of buying these cars. Now this tiny explanation is not doing this whole motif justice, so I've linked a Reddit post down below. You should definitely go read it because it's brilliant. And the Honda on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, it's a simple car. After stripping back, he's not mentioning these big expensive cars. It's a Honda, which is reflective of how Kendrick is stepping down from that pedestal on this album and being vulnerable with us and revealing his truths. The Honda is reflective of that because it's a simple everyday car, showing that Kendrick is an everyday man just like everybody else who has flaws. And if you watch my breakdown of the GNX album, you would know that the GNX is a symbol of success and hard work, which perfectly ties into the themes of the album. And speaking of continued references across albums, have you ever noticed that J. Cole has a basketball reference on every single one of his albums, starting from Simba to Heartache to Cost Me a Lot? It's on Cold World, Rich, Fire Squad, Immortal, Friends, Amari, and Pricey. Basketball is also referenced in just a bunch of his covers. Just look at the warm-up, Friday Night Lights, or the off-season. Speaking of covers, did you ever catch that on Travis Scott's Astro World cover? If you zoom in on this kid right there, he's holding the Rodeo action figure. And speaking of more hidden details on covers, on Bone Thugs and Harmony's E 1999 Eternal, Eazy-E can actually be seen in the window of that building. And while we're on the topic of hidden people in covers, the Midnight Marauders cover, both the back and front one, features the Beastie Boys, De La Soul, Chuck D, Public Enemy, Ice-T, Lords of the Underground, Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, Third Base, Black Moon, Heavy D, and so many more. And perhaps the cover with the most Easter eggs on it is actually Logic's Everybody cover. This is crazy. It features so many different Easter eggs. Now here's a breakdown of it, but some notable ones include J. Cole, Logic's Dogg, Black Thought, and even Logic's Rubik's Cube. But pause the video and feel free to take a look at the key explaining who everyone is. It's a crazy cover. And speaking of covers, Childish Gambino's Awaken My Love can actually be seen at the 8-minute and 54-second mark of Season 1, Episode 9 of his show Atlanta. In Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales actually has a Chance the Rapper coloring book poster on his wall. However, Chance is wearing a cap with the number 4 on it. Coloring book having a 4 on it implies that coloring book in this universe that Miles is in was the 4th mixtape from Chance the Rapper. And in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Miles actually has a poster of Long Live ASAP on his wall. And in that movie, Metro Boomin also has a cameo because he curated the whole soundtrack. Taking the first initial of each of the words in the title, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, Little Simz 2021 release, actually spells the name Simbi, which, I'm sure as you can guess, is the real name of Little Simz. And did you know that Dr. Dre's 2001 was originally going to be called Chronic 2000, but during its production, Death Row released an album under that title. Dr. Dre then decided to call it 2001 because, you know, he wanted to just one-up Death Row. And now to end the video, I just want to go through some hidden credits. Jay-Z's Girls, 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 both Part 1 and 2, feature uncredited vocals from Michael Jackson, and Part 1 also has background vocals from Q-Tip, Biz Markie, and Slick Rick, which is pretty crazy. A$AP Rocky's Testing has a bunch of uncredited features that pop up throughout the album, most notably including A$AP 12e, Schoolboy Q and Tyler the Creator at the end of 143rd, Playboi Carti on Buckshots and Black Tux White Collar, and Snoop Dogg on Brother Man. Childish Gambino actually features on Judge Judy and I Killed You on Chromacopia. Billie Eilish is on Sirens by Denzel Curry. And did you know that the guitar on Fire was actually played by Andre 3000? And that's where we're going to end the video. I hope you guys learned something new. Let me know if you had caught any of these before and if you want to see a part 2, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many I could have gone into, but I wanted to keep this video relatively short. Feel free to comment any Easter eggs I missed that you might want to see in a part 2. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hit notifications so you don't miss any more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.